everyone, welcome back to Spider-Man Animated Series reviews. It's been a bit since Dude's Kingdom took a lot of time to complete, but we're back with season 4. Season 4 of the animated series is the shortest season, clocking in at 11 episodes. So, is it gonna be quality over quantity? We'll see. Starting off with episode 1. So, episode 1 starts off with a classic scenario this show likes to do once per season. Spider-Man wants to quit being Spider-Man. Now, this is way more understandable than what it did in season 3 with the whole lab explosion, small child, Dr. Octopus 2-part ever did. This, he wants to quit because I couldn't protect MJ at the end of season 3. He's like, I want to hang out my costume. So Wabi, Peter Parker's co-worker of a debut gets kidnapped and framed for a heist. So Wabi goes to a court. He gets found guilty. He gets thrown in the slammer. And Spider-Man's the reason why Wabi got caught, and Peter's like, God dang, I can't keep hurt one's close to me. My friends, friends and girlfriend, but I mean family. I guess Ant-Man's been kidnapped here and there, but has she really been hurt? No, but she's been put in harm's way because of Spider-Man, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, so we learn the Kingpin is behind the framing of Wabi here, and Jonah Jameson is like, we need to prove Wabi innocent, and Peter, being his photographer self, took a picture of this heist that Wabi was framed from, because Wabi was actually at the heist where Spider-Man shows up and like, haha, you're mastermind. It shows the gun Wabi was holding just fired on his own without pulling the trigger. So after seeing this picture from Peel, JJ's like, time to pick up my own persona, Jigsaw Jameson. And he rides out of a debut on a tiny bike and asks everyone he sees, do they want to play a game? No, but he's now investigating the crime scene, with a breadcrumb slate and stuff. And it's actually very entertaining because it's funny to see people recognizing Jonah Jameson investigating and stuff and be like, Jigsaw. I mean, I thought you were done. I thought you retired. I thought you turn in your badge. And all that stuff. Of course, Jonah Jameson wasn't a police detective. It was investigative reporter. But this all ends up with Jonah Jameson and Spider-Man finding the gun, and the remote control was used, to fire said gun to make Wabi look guilty, and then Spider-Man put it all together. That the reason why Wabi was sent to prison is because of Tombstone. Tombstone made friends with Kingpin's son, connections and all that fun jazz. So Tombstone has Wabi in the same cell, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna ruin your life. And then Spider-Man comes and saves the day, and Wabi was proven innocent in the eyes of a court. I like this episode. It's a nice breather after like the ending of season 3. For sure. And I like how um the reason why Spider-Man wanted to quit um was like feels a lot more legitimate than like how again season 3 when it's like, well, we've been doing this once per season, let's do it again. And like, with like helping Wabi, and Wabi's like, Spider-Man can do good things, that inspires Peel to keep being Spider-Man. And also like following JJ around along a bit of his past as Jigsaw. Um, but yeah, episode 2 and 3 are like a two-part type deal. So episode 2 starts off with Spider-Man saying MJ's face everywhere, his words, not mine. Peter wanted to talk to Felicia to see, like, about grief, since, she lost Mobius all the way back in season 2. And, he wanted to be like, hey, how you dealing? And Felicia's on a date, and her date reminds her of her father. Then we go to like Felicia's mom being blackmailed by Doc Ock, but Spider-Man shows up, wasn't able to capture Doc Ock, but managed to like kind of get him away. Then Spider-Man sees a picture of Felicia's dad, who's is literally sounding like Felicia's father. I'm like, you know what? Just in case if you forget what he looks like and who he is, there you go, Felicia. Here's a picture of your father. And also you could tell that this episode was made way before like the age of the internet, because like the reason why Felicia's mom was being blackmailed is because Felicia's dad was the thief, the cat, and but this is public information. Like Peel looked it up. It's like, oh, like in the debut like database, but the fact that it's in a database on a newspaper means this is public information that anyone can know. But it's like in the age of internet, if you say something wrong or whatever, that'd be front page news or trending on Twitter. Wow, your husband was a thief named Cat. So it just kind of in this time period kind of feels a bit silly, but like probably like think about like 20 years ago, actually 30 years ago. But that's more of a probably like more of like a guard secret than it would be now. Um, and it's just again, I kind of like when I first watched it, I was definitely like, that's it. But this was years ago. I had to remind myself. Um, the Kingpin kidnaps Doc Ock to get him to work for him. Kingpin is like, okay, I have a thing for making people pop machines. I did with Alistair last season. Now I've done it with the Chameleon this season. And Chameleon, now can transform without his belt. I can see what he sees, and he has a tracking device planted in him. So, this is the plan. The Chameleon is currently in prison in a helicarrier. Okay? And he's next to John Hardexky, who happens to be Felicia's father, aka the Cat. And Kingpin wants to break out Hardexky out of prison. Now, Pio was able to figure out, hey, that was like Nick Fury, one of the pictures of in the debut paper, so I bet she was involved with it. So Spider-Man steals the pen, but Jamin Jonathan had in season 1, season finale, when, parts of the badge from the comedian's name. So I like that callback. That's a nice callback. It's a nice use of like something in the past. I love it. But Spider-Man gets taken to the helicopter and asks about her jet ski, and Nick Fury is like, nope. But Spider-Man steals the information anyways. But at the same time, Kingpin attacks, breaks out her jet ski, and we won't the reason why Kingpin wants him so badly. As a lead child, her jet ski was towed by, U.S. soldiers to go to this factory to learn this formula. And this formula happens to be the super social formula. That's right. The same formula that made Captain America. Which, they act like, oh, that's supposed to mean something. But we don't know Captain America in this show yet, which, I can't speak on how well known Captain America was 30 years ago, because, I was not exactly around. But like, we haven't seen Captain America in the show yet. So if you had no idea who Captain America is, and they act like this is great opponents of Captain America, you're like, who? But Captain America does later show up in the show, just not in the season. But like, it is hard to imagine someone be like, who's Captain America nowadays? But that's, again, 30 years of time passed with MCU booming and all that jazz. Then Hosdevsky goes back to U.S. soldiers that said, steal this formula. Hosdevsky also has photographic memory. So when he sees something, he remembers it. He goes like, well, I think you guys are Nazis, because, why would we name the super soldier Captain America? And they're like, crap. And actually, before we even, Kid Hardesky finished saying his words, like, the soldiers were getting up, like, oh, he fucking knows we're gonna take this motherfucker out. And then Red Skull comes out with the curtains, which, again, we don't know who Red Skull is. I don't think they even name-dropped him in the episode. He just came out and be like, get the kid! But Hardesky escaped and became the Black Cat afterwards. I mean, not the Black Cat, just the normal cat. He has no colors tied to his name. So, like, Doc Ock captures Felicia to, get Hardesky to be like, okay, he was the super social formula Kingpin. And so, like, Spider-Man's beating himself up because Felicia's kidnapped. He goes like, why does everyone get kidnapped or disappear around me? And then we meet the Black Cat. She and Spider-Man fight for a bit, and we learn that Black Cat is Felicia, who has taken the super soldier formula and has the power to change her hair and height and muscle mass. I will. I mean, that's an impressive ability to keep a secret identity. Black Cat and Spider-Man team up to beat up S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D. thinks Spider-Man has Hardesky. Fun action sequence. It's funny to see Spider-Man with like a motorcycle helmet on and all that. And then Spider-Man, Black Cat, and Hardesky beat Kingpin and Doc out and were able to delete the like super soldier formula off of Kingpin's computer data. That's why you always keep backup, kids. Just in case, when you're doing your evil villain stuff, someone doesn't delete it. The episode ends with Hardesky going back to S.H.I.E.L.D. because knowledge is dangerous. I like this two-part. It's fun. I like the introduction of Black Cat. I like that it's expanding this universe by connecting Hardesky to Captain America, by which we're seeing Captain America. So it doesn't feel like, again, who's this Captain America fella? But other than that, this 2-part is great. Well, from a great episode to an episode I absolutely hate, episode 4. Craven the Hunter's back, and he's acting weird. He's taken the formula again to make him Craven. And like, Peter Spider-Man is just a dick, a big old dick in this one. Why? He's just angry because of MJ. You're like, oh, that's understandable, but it's like, we're 4 episodes in. And he's like angry, telling Black Cat go away, you know, blah 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 blah. But it's like, this feels contrived, like, to fit the plot. Because, like, you know, Spider-Man's keep pushing Black Cat away, but Black Cat turns out to be a help. And, you know, the reason why Craven became Craven was because of his wife, Dr. Crawford, becoming a cat woman. Not like Catwoman from DC, like a furry Catwoman. And it's like, and then like ends up with Crawford and Craven running off into the sunset. Be like, oh well, we're just gonna run away because of love. And it's just like, okay, this would have been an okay episode. Again, it was the fact that you're a dick, Peter Parker, for like no reason. Like, you know, this episode's supposed to show Peter to care about others again, and how like single-minded he is, but like that contradicts last episode's characterization when it's like Peter was caring enough for like Felicia to look into her father, and like, oh, I'm not gonna bother Felicia with my grief anymore because she's going through a lot. And it's like, and then he goes like, oh, I don't care. I don't know how to care about other people anymore. It's like, why? So like Peter, so it's just like, it feels off the whole way through. Like, and I'm just like, this. Like, if this was, like, episode 1, maybe even episode 2, like, it would have been fine. Like, the characterization of Peter Parker would have been fine. But, where it's placed, it's just like, not really feeling it. Is it my least favorite episode of all time? No. But, is it, again, something I would realize that's good? No. The episode ends with Peter moving in with Harry because like, we both need each other right now. So episode 5 starts off with Black Cat coming to stop crying without Spider-Man because Spider-Man was like, no, get away from me. Don't become a superhero, you're already known pain and suffering. But like, then it becomes Spider-Man. It's like, don't be a solo hero. Team up with me. I mean, I don't know what changed his mind from don't be a hero to don't be a solo hero. Then, like, as the Scythe comes in, kidnaps Black Cat, and he's looking for the boss baby himself, Silverman. Silverman, like, needs, like, the Vulture or Scorpion to, like, make him a young adult. Using neogenics. Fun stuff. But we find out the Scorpion kidnapped the Vulture at the end of season 2, and the Vulture somehow is no longer the man spider. I don't know, he just got better, I guess. But the Vulture keeps changing between old man and young man. But like, Scorpion wants to build this lab, new neogenic lab, to turn himself back to a normal man. And but Scorpion managed to get himself a girlfriend, and she's like, you gotta do this legitimately. We have $500. I know that's not even close to what I imagined a lab like that would cost. But we get this. We get through this. probably doesn't help that you live in probably one of the most expensive cities in the United States of America. But hey, all the states have their own taxes and all that stuff. Cost of living is just higher in New York. But you do what you need to do. But Scorpion's like, you know what? I'm gonna rob a bank. That seems like an easier, faster solution to my problem. And then that's where Spider-Man was able to find him, bring him to ask of Silverman. But oh no, double cross. Silverman wants Spider-Man's youth and his strength, just like Vulture did in Season 2. But before Silverman can do that, Vulture showed up because Scorpion's girlfriend set him free to help save Scorpion. So it became like a bit of a tussle. Everyone was kung fu fighting, and Vulture managed to steal Silverman's youth, where Silverman becomes an old man. A line that made me laugh, but I kind of had to pause the episode, was like, Silverman's daughter was like, Father, at least you don't need diapers anymore. And Silverman's like, I'm not so sure about that. Oh man, I'm like, yeah. And when you get up in age, sometimes you do need diapers. But this episode feels like it happened for two reasons. One, to make Spider-Man Black Cat partners, which do become a event of episodes, and two, to kind of reset the status quo a bit by making Silverman an old man. I think it would have been much more hilarious if it kept him a baby. That's not a way of striking against the episode. I just think it would be funny if they kept him a baby. But this episode was a fun one. I like seeing the interactions of Scorpion and Vulture, and again, I just love the concept of baby Silverman. It's funny to me. So 6 and 7 is another two-part. Oh, also, before we move on, episode 5 had a scene where Peter bailed on Harry when Harry was trying to talk to Peter. Because they were moving in together because Harry needed a friend. Anyways, episode 6 and 7. Starts off with Spider-Man feeling bad that he misses MJ, but he wants Black Cat's cat. If you know what I mean. Deborah finds Man-Bat Mobius in a cave. I thought it was a good idea to bring a vampire, which apparently everyone knows he's a vampire now, to New York City. Genius. She is. Landon wants to kill himself. So he's like, and also wants to make the Kingpin, and himself immortal. So he goes like, this is why I funded this Mobius, expedition. They don't, of course, they don't know that, we're doing this, but they don't need to know. It's fine. It's fine. Spider-Man has a scene with best character Bruce. Black Cat went to whistle Blade's guys in the chair to get stuff to find Mobius. I don't think I talked about Whistle in my season 2 review, because I was just like, this Blade 2-part, it's repetitive as fuck. I don't want to talk about it, really. But Landon gets the shocker to take Man-Bat Mobius, who's currently sleeping. And during the tussle, Shocker accidentally wakes up Man-Bat Mobius. But Landon was able to capture him still, and turned him back into just normal vampire Mobius. He still lusts for plasma, but he's not. He's not man bad. But Spider-Man and Black Cat fail to like kill Mobius, and Mobius flies out off to the night. Orlando and Shock are in the hospital. Felicia debates on what to do with Mobius. We see Blade and Moira, the Vampire Queen, and who we learn is Blade's mother. Miranda goes to like New York City to find Mobius to learn how to turn humans into vampires, because she has a psychic link with vampires, and she can read minds, so she knows it was because of the neogenetic comparator, which got rebuilt because science find a way. So she was able to like do it. Give her a combo, turn a few people into vampires, and it's like, oh, well, we have vampires at the disco. But like after the combo gets destroyed, all of them turn into vampires. Besides Mobius, go back to normal. Shame it didn't work that way for him. But the episode ends with like Mobius, Blade, and Black Cat decide to hunt down Miranda and become vampire hunters. Well, Blade was already a vampire hunter, but Black Cat and Mobius were vampire hunters. And also, Harry Osborn finds out that his best bud, Pete, is Spider-Man. You hate to find out like that. Episode 8. Harry becomes the Green Goblin. After the real Green Goblin's talking to him, like through the old limbo in between dimensions. But he's like the only one who could see and heal him. The Punisher is looking into Peter Parker because he so happened to bump into like MJ's aunt at the cemetery, and MJ's aunt is like, I don't know how MJ disappeared. I'm really sick about her, but it's that Peter Parker punk that probably did something. I don't know what the fuck he did, but he did something, the motherfucker. Punch is like, okay, I'll look into this. So of course, like, Peter's trying to be like, immediately found out Harry was the Green Goblin. He asked him, okay, so like, Peter's like, looking into all he's was able to find like day on Goblin hideout. So he, he's going to Goblin hideout. Punisher shows up. It's like yeah, you're the Green Goblin. And Peter's like, I don't know, that's the Green Goblin. And then there's a tussle. And then as soon as Peter's like, hey, Harry, your father was the Green Goblin, something snaps. And Harry becomes unhinged. And, yeah. And they, Punisher and Spider-Man were able to stop the Green Goblin. And MJ comes back. We don't know how she came back, but she's back. This episode is good. I like this episode. Definitely better than, in terms of, returning characters and doing stuff like that. I feel like this one episode was way better than the two-part we got with, Mobius and Blade. And I'm just saying, I feel like the two-part dragged, and I don't know. This episode kind of did that a bit better, in my opinion. Episode 9 starts off with Mysterio trying to steal gold, and he uses these robot pilots and stuff. Robot skeleton pilots, I forgot skeleton. Someone called Captain Jack Sparrow. But it's ultimately stopped by Spider-Man putting the slammer. MJ's starring in the movie, but caused Mysterio to become Mysterio. And she's replacing the actress that went missing during that movie. No one knows where she is. Because she looks just like her. And someone's using illusions on MJ, like in the movie studio. And Spider-Man goes to Mysterio in jail because, I mean, who else would be? And Spider-Man's like, you did. And he's like, don't go to the studio, Spider-Man. You don't know why you were fine. Spider-Man puts like a track on him to be shown. But Mysterio finds the track and uses the battery to put in one of his illusion devices and escapes from prison. Way to go, Spider-Man. But like, MJ goes missing, like underground, and like Spider-Man is finding all these robots of his foes. Mysterio is helping because he got these robots from the Kingpin, which doesn't really tie into. I mean, it does tie into something, but like overall, it doesn't matter where he gets the robots. It's just like a full line why he needed the robots. But it's good to see like robot cameras from like them, Carnage, and it's just nice to see them. But like, what's happening is the actress that MJ replaced is like mostly robotic, and she's like, my face got boned, and I was hideous, and I was known for my looks, so I dove off of a bridge, high in the sewers, and if Mysterio didn't save me, I would be dead. And the funny thing is, if you notice in the flashback, her face is bone on maybe this side, it's reversed, I forget. So it'd be like this. The only part that's not covered in robot is this face. Everything else is. So, it's weird, but okay, well. And it ends up with Mysterio confessing his love to, like, the actress, and then they decide to get buried under the movie studios together. Blow up the movie studios, too. And Spider-Man's like, MJ, I love you. MJ's like, I have another man in my life. And Spider-Man's like, I am Batman. And she's like, oh, shit. This episode's okay, honestly. Nothing too crazy. It's cool to see, like, the movie characters. Like, old villain characters show up as cameras. I think that's neat. That's a fun idea. But overall, the plot is just kind of like, not really feeling it too much. Episode 10 starts off with Peter asking MJ to marry him, and she says yes. She jumps off of a building before she says yes. She's like, oh, I just want to see if you would be always there for me. And I'm like, if a girl asks me, like, if I ask a girl to marry me, her reaction is to jump off a building. I'm like, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Moving on. So, Kirk Connors is having problems about turning into the lizard. But during his time of panic, Peter and MJ ask him to be surrogate father in the wedding, because neither one of them have a father figure. I mean, Kirk Connors is the father figure, but like male relatives, I should say. And then lizard people attack, and we find out that the lizard people basically were oozed like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Dr. Connors put something down the drain that he should have. That's, again, Science 101. But hey, don't put chemicals down the drain. You might make lizard people. And then, like, Connors go full on lizard. And, like, MJ was managed to escape what Peter's like in the suit of Spider-Man trying to, fix, like, the situation because it's just diverging. And so, like, MJ goes to Kirk Connors' wife. He was like, we got a bomb, but go boom boom to anything that's been mutated by neogenetics. So they go to Deborah, and they go like, tell us about this device. Deborah's like, oh, it kill everything, but well, has been affected by neogenics, but I can make it so they just undo the mutation. So they do that, and like Spider-Man, like there's a female lizard who's like, oh no, we shouldn't take revenge on humans of be mean to the humans. And Spider-Man goes to you. You were an accident. You weren't supposed to happen. And she's like, an accident? And Spider-Man's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And she's like, an accident? It's like, Spider-Man, the damage is done. You always said she was an accident. There's no backpowering away from that. The three ladies were able to save the day, but using the neogenic bomb turned Cook Connors back into Connors. I should have said the lizard back into Cook Connors. And the lizard people became lizards again. Spider-Man is unharmed even though his powers were derived from neogenics. Kinda. You love to see when they evoked it, and you kind of scratch at your head when they kind of ignore for the sake of plot. But this episode's also okay. I like how they gave side characters like more time to actually shine, like with MJ, Mrs. Connors, and Deborah. But again, the overall plot, I feel like for the idea of like the lizard people, didn't see his full potential. Like really in terms of like fight scenes or anything like that, or like ideals. Because that's like Lizard first wanted to do, turn people into lizards, and like he was like king for like maybe like 5 minutes, and then it all went to shit. Just like do more with the concept a bit. Then episode 11 is the season finale. What's it about? What's it about? We get someone we never met before named Hobby. Confining Peter Parker, like, do you know who I am? I'm like, oh shit, sure I know who this is? No. For most of this episode, it's a flashback about Hobby. And when he goes like, oh well, I want Pyro. So I went, Kingpin on me a favor, so I got this fancy dancy suit. But, there's strings attached, even though he said there weren't strings attached. And now I have a bomb around my waist. Can I get Spider-Man's help? Of course, Spider-Man helps him. They're able to get the bomb belt off. And Harvey goes like, I'm going straight. And I don't give a shit. This is a horrible way to end the season. Because, like, how many times have we seen, like an unfortunate event happening to a character, they become a super villain, and Boom by being, because like he has a Pyro suit, so he's the Pyro in the anime series. Harpy is, but like it's like I don't care, because let's compare to like new characters to come like this season, Black Cat. Harry as the Green Goblin. Actually, no, there's like no new characters this season. It's all like built upon low. And then you just stuck like this well, I mean, there are new characters, but it's built upon, like Mysterio and his lady friend. And like the lizard people are built off of like the lizard. You can argue, well, this is built upon the Kingpin, but it's like, not really. Like, no, Kingpin screws over everyone. So it's just like, I was kind of bored doing this episode because, like, all you hear is like, oh, Harvey's complaining about not having enough power. He got power, and he got fucked by Kingpin. So it's like, don't feel bad for the guy. He got what he wanted, and he got backstabbed. So, like, it's kind of, Well, I mean, I'm glad the guy wants to turn his life around, man. But like, the whole rest of the episode's like, now it wouldn't make me feel bad for this guy. Well, I should. Season 4 is just man. It's definitely my least favorite season so far. There are a few good episodes. Like, I like the first 3 episodes. One is a standoff, one is a two-part, and I really like the Green Goblin episode. The rest are meh, or I dislike, like, episode 4 and episode 11 of ones I dislike. The rest are meh. So it's just kind of like, it was a short season, but the quality wasn't there. So I give this season a 7 out of 10. So I'd like to thank y'all for coming out, for watching this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.